the nice views now. You know what I mean? Get the nice
Jeez.
views now. Let's go.
You're officially live.
Come on, I'm real trader now.
Wait, 1 second, 1 second. I'm just
Need the
doing.
Lambo.
Number one, number one. No.
I'll be live. GM, what's good, people? It is currently 13 minutes past 5 p.m. UK time, Sunday, the 28th of June, 2026. Welcome to episode 35 of Mycelink Sundays. This is a free weekly call where we cover macro, geopolitics, trending, AI, crypto, meme coins, stocks, development, including but not limited to. If you are interested in investing, trading, and or futures technologies, this is the place to be. Every single Sunday, 5 p.m. UK time, free on Discord. Check your time zones for the international audience. You can join the Discord link by going to the Mycelink link tree, which you will find everywhere from our X and our IG bio, including but not limited to. Also find the replays and streams on YouTube and Twitch. Like, comment, subscribe, and tell a friend to tell a friend. I thank God that me and my wife have got a new place now, and I thought I'd just show off the skyline view, you know, and be a real trader. We got the screens. I joke with you. Before getting started, I'd like to iterate that nothing is financial advice. We do not intend to be perceived or received as financial and or legal advisors. If you are looking for financially accredited, legally accredited services and or advice, hit us up via the DMs and we will refer you to a professional in connection with. Always do your own research. You are responsible for your own gains and losses. We mix it up between me starting off. I usually do macro, Cryzo that does futures, my wife Halima, who's in the back, who does the health and wealth meditation, and Mateus talks about dev if we don't have a special guest. Today we're going to start off with Cryzo because he is currently at family barbecue, so I want to get his bit out of the way. Then I think I'll go in with some macro. Halima will do health and wealth meditation, and then maybe Dev at the end, or we might switch it up. But yeah, usually it's me first, but let's start off with Cryzo. Cryzo, you want to talk to them about the futures market, what you're looking at in terms of trading, and yeah, take over, my friend.
Hello, how we doing, guys? Right. Hope we're all doing well.
Hello.
Hello. We've had a pretty insane. We've had a pretty insane couple of weeks. Where is this? Right. Let me just share my screen so you guys can all see this. I'm also pretty proud of myself, guys. You know, we did call it. We called this right. Can you guys see my screen? Ninja, could you mute yourself? Great.
I can see the screen.
Perfect. Right. We have just tapped into 59k again, right? We've just broken down, not once, right, below this really key point here, 60k, or what was it, 59.9? Right, we literally just tapped into 59k. We have broken it twice now, right? Even going into 58k. When? Literally, like, when was this, like today? 2 days ago. Right? Oh my days. Right? So what does this mean? Right? It means most likely we're going down even further. Just look at this price action. It's absolutely ridiculous. Right? You look here. That and that. It's just the fact that this is lower than that one. It means, you know, lower lows. Boom, boom. Alright, we had a tiny bit of a relief up here, right? But then inevitably got a low high, right? Which just led it to sink. Right now it doesn't look like it's slowing down. Could go down to even here, right? Personally, like I said before, right? Wait, I'm on Ninja's charts. Oh, I saved it. My bad. Yeah. So we've come down below the VWAP. So there is a big chance we're gonna get another relief rally, right? Maybe touch around um 66K again. There's a chance we can also go up and touch 77K. Because look at this. This is a perfect example, right? So we went from 95K down all the way to 59K, right? Had a little bit of a bounce, floated around this point, came back to the main support line of the VWAP, right? And then came back down, right? So now we're at the bottom. So it's quite favorable that there is a move up and it bounces up to at least 66, but um, it is very likely that we do come down below the VWAP very strongly. And if you notice, right, we'll just have a look at the if you guys look here, the RSI, High Kanashi RSI, it is on its way down. It doesn't look like it's changing currently on the weekly specifically. On the daily, it looks like there is some sort of bounce, so it could mean that there's a decrease in that momentum of the push downwards. So yeah, there is a possibility that we do have a bit of a relief right now, especially touching into 59K. However, how long it's gonna last, who knows? By the looks of it, it has been completely validating this middle line of the VWAP here whilst we're in this bearish space. So where it could go is maybe up to here, but at the same time, we've completely switched the trend pattern. It's dangerous time. I wouldn't look at shorting right now. We're pretty much near the bottom. You'll be making pennies. I wouldn't consider longing just yet, just because there is a lot of downwards time to go. We'll just look at the other time whatever's. Yeah, this actually looks like it's 4 hours starting to look like there is a possibility of a reversal. Yeah, so we've had three touches of this 58 K zone, right? And then we had a high low, a high, I mean, sorry, a higher low, and then a lower high, right? Now, this might not necessarily be a lower high. It might just be a continuation of this downwards trend. But we'll see if it does something like this, you can expect that to be a reversal here. Right now, look at this liquidation map. Right now, in terms of looking at this, right, I wouldn't go long right now. Right, I don't think there's a reversal. Right, we've still got liquidity to go downwards. 59K, 58.8. So that, where is that? 59, 58.8. Around here actually. Actually, if it touches these points again, right, and makes another candle, use this indicator here, the Harsi liquidation bubble, right? Now, if you see this green tick around maybe up here or something like that, that's perfect. That's amazing. That's what you want, right? And there is a good sign of reversal. But let's look at this again, right? Now, the reason why I said I wouldn't go long is because I thought this was a bit further down, but it's 58K, right? Now that's still within this bearish sort of pattern, right? As long as it's above 58.4, then it looks like a reversal. Now keep in mind, right? I do expect it to go lower, right? So it's not a what's it called? It's not a swing long. It's a scalp long, right? Because it's in a bearish market. It looks like it's gonna go down further in time, and it's just a way to catch some small profits. So that's kind of what I'm telling you about right now. Oh dear. Right now on the 7 day, whew, right now this is kind of more of the more signs of you know a possible reversal up. There's a lot of liquidity on the upside, insane amount up to 66K. So just again, 66K. That's the VWAP there. So very key zone. And on the downside, right, it's all the way to 57.3, right? Now, we could go down to 58.7, right, 58.8, right, clear that, and then there'll be pretty much no liquidity down on the downside, right? it'll be completely ready to rip up to at least, not at least, I mean like I'd say mostly 66k at most. Right now, how you'd want to take your profits is up to you. I'd set my targets to maybe take profit 1, 61k, take profit 2, 61.8, take profit 3, 63, and take profit 4 or 5, near 66. But yeah, you take your profits, you set your stop loss to break even, or just a bit into profits, and you just let it run, right? See how far it goes. Take profits when you're happy, right? But make sure that your risk to reward is good. So, right, I'll just explain how you'd be entering this, right? I'm gonna delete this. Yeah, that's deleted. That's deleted too. Right, let's take this. Right, so our goal is to mainly try catch around this zone here, right? Actually, it's been highlighted before. I don't know what's. Yeah, this is that bottom. So it's a very key point. It really is. Like, look, we've touched it once, twice. I don't think it's been a long time since we caught it again. But anyways, oh no, we touched it time ago. Yes. Would I count this? Yeah, actually, we would. This zone is pretty important. Yeah, so it's touched it 3 times before. I wish I had a mouse with me right now. But yeah, it's stop loss, right? So now if we were at 58.8, which is ideal. 58.8 round there. We'll clear some of that. Right, would set your stop loss to just below. You set it to around there, right? And your take profit would be. Now this is where you consider whether to go up, right? You look at this, right? It says risk to reward ratio of 4.0, which means you're going to be making 4 times what you're going to risk, right? Now, is that worth it? I'm unsure, right? 4 to 1 is it's like it's good, but you can only lose 4 times, and it really depends on your accuracy in terms of how you're trading, right? Now, what you can do to change that up is reduce your risk, right? Say you're aiming to catch the very bottom, right? Now it is kind of a hard trick, but if it touches your price, and then it invalidates that, then in a sense you shouldn't be taking that trade anyways. So you're more relying on very very strict rules, right? So you'd be able to do something like this, right? Move your stop loss to around here, right? You'd be able to do that now. Now the risk to reward is 7.4, right? You're making 7 times the amount that you're risking. That's how to be a smart trader, right? You don't think about how much money you're putting in and how much you're going to be making. It's about how much the percentages. Well, no. What? It's not about the exact numbers that you're putting in, right? And the exact number that you're getting out. It's about the percentages, the statistics, and all that sort of stuff. That's the key. That's the key point. So yeah, you want to be a smart futures trader, right? And get around here, right? Now, I would use the Harsi tool, which credits to Matthias, our amazing dev, right? Because it gives you these arrows, right? And the thing about these arrows is that it shows at the beginning of the candle, not after the candle is formed, right? So as soon as it happens, you can enter then, and then catch from here all the way up there, right? Now, yeah, that's pretty much what it did here, right? This green tick would have shown up around maybe when it went up here, right? So you could have entered, caught this, right? Floated around, cooked, whatever, come to here, right? And obviously, if you would have sold here, you probably wouldn't have made money, but it's the thought that counts. You want to catch it at the right time, very specifically the right time. It's also forming a W pattern, which is a it's a big thing in terms of trends and stuff. It shows that we're testing the support zone, or is it the resistance? Yeah, the support zone. We're testing key support zones and hoping to bounce from there, and hoping that support zone creates an amazing time for us, right? So yeah, what I'm waiting for is for BTC to hit around 59k, 58. Once it does do that, you can enter a small, maybe high leverage long, with a tight stop loss. Now, if it were to cut your stop loss, you'd wait. You'd be very patient. Um, you'd wait for this arrow before you enter the first one, right? You'd wait for the arrow. When it shows, that's where you enter. And then if you see a red arrow after that, then most likely you should exit, right? Now you can lose some money on fees and stuff for like, but realistically you shouldn't be losing that much, especially if the arrow has just formed like the red arrow which you'd sell on. But yeah, so that's just a current show that I'm thinking about in terms of scalping. And then once it hits 66, okay, you can scalp short, but I don't know, right? Personally, I am waiting for that swing long, that opportunity. What opportunity is going to be amazing, right? Like we've been talking about for so long, that 21x. Oh, dreaming, dreaming about it. Right now, the one meme coin that the one of a few meme coins that I've been constantly thinking about is Pengu. Amazing card, right? Their team, the marketing team, professional, next level, right? And they sink their money into crazy things. We've talked about it several times over. But yeah, Pengu, I think it's got unbelievable potential, right? Potential to go past Doge 100%, right? Right now, Pengu is nearly a tenth of Doge price, right? Does that reflect in market value? I'm not too sure. I don't know the supply, but it is possible. So if it's a tenth smaller than Doge, it can get there. You know what I mean? I think not enough people know about Pengu, right? Hopefully this cycle can.
Pengu is actually more than 20 times smaller than Dogecoin. If you go to coinmarketcap.com, you'll see Dogecoin market cap is 11.35 billion, and then
Oh my days, I hate.
and if you check the Pengu market cap, it's like 330 million. It's like 35x.
Damn, 35 times. It's mental. And seeing that, you can actually massive gains. I want to look at just with the 38 day and the exchange. Okay, what's the point? 60 on I definitely think on saying guilty profits. Right now, these points undeniably points that the markets want to snag for sure. Right? What the hell? How much is it? 85 million and 100x. 95 million and 100x. That's crazy. Absolutely mental. Yeah. No, that really gives you a key thought, really, doesn't it? Wait, I just want to check. Now, 30 day, the bottom of that is that 58.5. All right, guys. Right, listen. I don't usually call too many longs. I'll be real, right? I stay off the markets recently because I've been working. But we've caught it right on this live, right? Bitcoin long, 58.6, 58.8. Try catch it around there. Targets are first really 60, 61, then 61.9, then 60. Yeah. People are still terrified. What do you expect? The market is going below 60k. It's like there's big investors thinking, what the hell? Coinbase. Right now, people still want to sell Bitcoin, I'm assuming, on Coinbase, and it's growing even bigger. It's staying big. Like yeah, you're gonna lose money if you buy Bitcoin on Coinbase. Yeah, so people are gonna be in favor of selling it. Is that the case? No, actually, no. People are gonna be in favor of holding it. Yeah, you're not really gonna want to sell it if it's cheaper either. So yeah, they're paying. They're absolutely paying. But the opportunities that are loading up are phenomenal, absolutely mental. Now is there anything I want to show you guys? We've just looked at liquidity, the VWAP, ETH. What are you saying? Yeah, key resistance point on ETH. To be honest, realistically, you'd be better off at hitting an ETH long rather than Bitcoin, just because there's better risk to reward. Right now, ideally, the point you would have wanted to enter was this point here, 1511. Try ride it up. If you do the same analysis as I did, then you could do that. I'm not even going to talk about XRP. Oh, Sol, right? Ninja showed me something insane, right? Sol to XRP, right? Now, Sol really, very much so could outperform XRP. Not XRP, ETH, sorry. Oh my days. But yeah, we're at $70. We went up to $210, right? Or 3x, right? ETH is 2x from the high. So if you got any ETH, swap it into Sol. That's shill. Straight from I like do your own research, not from me. But yeah, alright guys. Right, have I got anything else for you guys? I don't think so. For futures, yeah, futures, you really want to stick to Bitcoin and like do your own research on like your own coin or whatever. Be careful of leverage. That's why I don't talk about hella random meme coins and stuff. Like I try to keep my knowledge focused, know what I'm doing, keep my strategy up. But yeah, does anyone have any questions before I pass this over? Anybody want to know? Anybody want to know? Actually,
Any questions?
oh, there's something else I should know. Look, this is the
Don't all rush. What about Kieran? Does Kieran have a question? Or DJ Kyron?
No, good. Just enjoying the stream.
Great. That's fine.
All right.
Bingo.
Okay. So I did not know you could do that.
That's fine.
Right. Dev, do you want to go next just to break it up? So
Yeah, I'm down.
Marcus, Dev, Marcus. Yeah, let's go. Go and give us that
So
poetry,
today,
man.
I just want to say thank you everyone for being here firstly. This one's going to be a little different. So we're going to be speaking about what's actually happening right now in crypto markets and AI. Most sessions we talk about how to build, but today I want to step back and talk about just where we are and what is actually happening right now in the world we build in. Because if you are a builder in 2026, the ground is moving super fast. Crypto markets, Web3, and the AI models we all depend on, all of it is shifting at the same time. So let me walk you through the states of play, and then I want to spend some real time on the part that is changing the fastest, the models. So let's start with crypto. The headline is simple. Crypto has grown up. For years, the space has run on hype, new tokens, big promises, and quick exits. However, that era is fading. What is happening now is a move towards utility, real products, real users, real problems being solved. Stablecoins are quietly becoming serious payment rails for businesses. AI agents are moving into the core of crypto, managing positions, auditing contracts, and executing on-chain. And regulation is no longer something builders bolt on at the end. In Europe, the rules are live. In Asia and the Middle East, frameworks are tightening. So the smartest teams are building compliance into the architecture from day one. If you are building in crypto this year, that is the shift. Less speculation and more infrastructure. Which brings us nicely into Web3. A few things that are worth your attention. The first is modular design. For years, blockchains tried to do everything on one chain. Now the default is to split the work up. Execution on one layer, data and settlement on another. Layer 2s are the starting point, not an afterthought. The second is zero knowledge proofs. This used to be deep research. Now it is shipping in production, and it is unlocking something way more powerful. You can prove something is true without revealing the details. Prove you passed the check, prove you are eligible without handing over your whole identity. That is privacy that still satisfies regulators. And the third, the big one, is tokenization of real world assets. This is the bridge between crypto and traditional finance. The largest financial infrastructure players are now putting real assets on chain, stocks, treasuries, funds, not as an experiment, as a roadmap with launch dates this year. So when the scales, the line between crypto and the regulatory financial system starts to blur, that is the direction. Now let me talk about the markets, because this is where it gets super interesting. For 3 years, one trade has driven everything, AI. The market has been on a tear, like powered by a handful of giant technology names. Then this month it cracked. The tech index fell hard from its all-time high. Chip stocks alone shed over $1 trillion in value in days. And here is the strange part. It's not because demand fell. Demand is still enormous. Like we all agree that people are still using AI every day. It was an expectations reset. Valuations had run too far, too fast, and the market took a breath. But underneath, the picture is split. The chip makers and the memory companies are booming. Demand for hardware is real and the earnings prove it. Meanwhile, some of the model companies that spent the most got punished. People are calling it a K-shaped AI market. One part soaring, one part sinking. So is this a bubble? That is the question everyone is asking, and opinions are genuinely split. Some economists see the dot-com era all over again. Others point out the difference. In the dot-com days, the revenue was not there. This time, the earnings are real and growing. There is actual demand, actual spend, and actual product. So here is what I want to take you from all this. Volatility is not the same as collapse. The companies building real things with real customers tend to survive the corrections. The ones running on pure story do not, and that is the true story for big tech. And it is the true story for us too. Now, the part I really want to get into is the models. If you build with AI, this is the most important thing to understand right now. Pace is unlike anything we have ever seen. New models are landing roughly every couple of days, not every year, every couple of days. And in the last few months, the biggest labs all shipped at once. Let me give you the lay of the land. OpenAI shipped GPT 5.5. It is the most complete all-rounder you can actually use right now. Strong at agentic work, tool use, multi-step tasks. If you want one model that is reliable across the board, that is the safest pick today. And just this week, they previewed the next one, GPT 5.6. 3 versions named after the sun, the earth, and the moon. One built for power, one built for balance, and one built for speed and low cost. For power, it is Sol. For balance, I believe it's Luna. And then for low cost, I believe it's Terra. Or it might be Terra for balance and then Luna for low cost. But here is the twist. You cannot get it yet. It launched as a limited preview to around 20 approved companies at the request of the government. So the government are playing a huge role in the release of AI models nowadays. As we know, they shut down Fable 5, and now they're controlling the release of GPT 5.6. So it is restricted at launch, that is new, and it is something every builder should be watching, because the gap between what exists and what you are allowed to use is becoming part of the game. Anthropic pushed Claude to Opus 4.8, that is the one to beat on coding. So it leads to hardest engineering benchmarks. If you are shipping code, that this is the model builders keep reaching for, Claude. Google has the Gemini 3 family. Their strength is speed, multimodal, and enormous context windows. If your work involves huge documents, images, video, audio, Gemini is built for that. Then there is the open and budget tier. And this is where it gets exciting for builders like us. DeepSeek released a model under an open license and it cut the price dramatically and got closer to frontier coding performance. We are talking a fraction of the cost with most of the quality. Alibaba's Quen and Moonshot's Kimi are right there too, strong on agentic coding. AI's XAI's Grok is pushing multi-agent setups, models running in parallel. So here is the headline for builders. The gap between the expensive frontier models and the cheap open ones is narrowing fast. A few years ago, frontier quality meant frontier prices. That is no longer true. You can build serious products on models that almost cost nothing. So what do you do with all of this? Let me make it super practical. Stop asking which model is the best. That is the complete wrong question. There is no single best model anymore. There is only the best model for the job in front of you. Coding, reach for the strongest coder, Claude. Speed and huge documents, reach for the multimodal one, Gemini. Cheap, high volume tasks, reach for an open model and save your budget, GPT. The builders who win in this era are not loyal to one lab, they are fluent across all of them. This is like a new stack. So you can imagine back a day when people asked you what's your stack, people would say, I am back end and front end. I know PHP, I know HTML, I know Java, Python, and furthermore. Nowadays, when people ask my stack, the correct answer is Claude, GPT, Gemini, XAI, rather than these individual coding languages, because they match the model to task. And they recheck the choices every few months because the model that was right in spring may not be right in autumn. That is the new normal. So to close this, I will say this. We're living through a super rare moment. The financial system is moving on chain. The markets are repricing what AI is really worth. And the tools we build with are getting better and cheaper almost every week. It is loud, it is fast, it can feel overwhelming, but underneath the noise, the signal is simple. Real products survive, real demand wins, and the cost of building has never been lower. So do not get lost in watching the charts. Do not wait for the dust to settle. Use the tools. Pick the right model for the job and build something real while everyone is just watching the headlines. That is the opportunity. That's all I have to say. If there is any questions, please ask away. If not, thanks so much for listening today, guys.
Thank you, Mateus.
Thank you, Dev. Guys, please, if you could just queue up one by one to ask questions. First in the queue, we've got Kieran. Do you have any questions for Dev?
No questions for Dev.
All right, no worries, no worries. Dev,
Yep.
before we get into my part, why don't you show the people a couple of websites that you've made, including maybe news website?
Definitely. So I think I did show a few websites last stream that I have been building. I have built a huge amount more since then. So I will open a few tabs here. First, I'll show you a meme coin website that I made called Percocet. So Percocet, however you spell it. Hopefully that loads up. So I made this flow entirely with Claude. Now, usually Claude is not really good when it comes to UI and design. However, if you do use WebGL, that is WEB-GL, combined with free.js, that is THRWE.js, you are able to create crazy things. And when I say crazy, I mean experiences that no websites even offer. So this is a quick website I cooked up.
Can you repeat that again, please?
So
Sorry, I
I
don't think your screen's sharing. Kryzo, are you there? I think you need to click on Mateus' screen. Because I'm watching the stream on YouTube and it's not showing.
yeah, it's not actually showing. Let me call Kryzo.
Yeah.
Right back, guys.
Sorry, one sec, guys. We need Cryzo to actually switch it.
It's not swing at the moment.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
Oh, gonna be a problem. Well, it's not gonna be a huge problem for you, but I'm not gonna be able to do my bit until he does. Can you try him on his new number as well?
Yeah.
Can we try his new number? Uh,
Yo, Kraz, I need you to click on my screen. Yeah, 2 minutes. But you need to be on hand for when Ninja is.
The window's open so I can hear you.
Okay, bro, thank you. Okie dokes. So that's back to normal now. Can everyone see my screen clearly?
yes, and so can the live.
Awesome, awesome. So this is a meme coin website I just made called Percocet. It's just a bit of a fun just kick around. We know our famous dev known as Kabir made a percolator, a DEX. So I thought if he's releasing a DEX, it would be quite cool to release a meme coin on that DEX eventually later down the line, maybe sometime in September, just to see how it can perform. If not, we can launch it on a separate chain such as Solana just to see how it goes. So this is the website. As you can see, it has a bunch of pills in the background moving around. You've got some pills free. So the background is WebGL. And the forefront, where these pills fall in front of you, that says perp, dgen, long, short, D, that is free.js. So as you scroll, firstly, you'll notice that it's not your traditional scroll up and down website. It's a fade in and out. So the next section just fades in. You have the pills that move to sections. And then you have the next part where a pill comes and then just shows different parts of the website. With a cool little opening as you scroll from the trip to the joining. So that's one website I made. That website cooked up maybe in a few days, not too long at all. That's just a quick fun play around with some WebGL experience. I will show you now a website I am making for a client. So if I just get that hosted back up for you, give me 1 sec. Localhost 5173. So as you can see, this website is nowhere near complete at the moment, but we are still working on this. So as you can see, we've got a nice entry of a text that writes itself. You've got a sort of, again, I think it's Vue.js that we used for the spiral carousel. You've got when you scroll, the logo moves into the nav bar and you have the actual items separate apart. As you scroll, you've got a free.js experience again, where these actual products used in the surgery are actually interactable. So you've got injectables where it injects the word of liquid. You've got SMPU, which actually tattoos over the coloring. And you scroll down, we have a full screen video that as you continue to scroll becomes a in-screen video. So it's kind of a nice little experience for the user. You scroll down, we have a reserve your booking section. So you can click it and it will open the bookings for you, which is kind of a cool experience because traditionally you will just have this alone, whereas having this here is just a bit of an extra feature and you can book in. I also had to build a booking system for this called Booking Brilliant. So as you can see, I didn't have to do any of this myself. So as you can see, these are all the services offered. So what I did is I created this whole platform called Booking Brilliant. What Booking Brilliant allows you to do, very simple, allows you to manage bookings across your business very easily. So if I hit login, no, don't log in, I want to demo it. So if I click see in action, I can actually add, for example, for a Forge Strength, which is a strength training campaign system. I can now book in a free consultation, so I can click that. I can say any representative. I can pick a date and a time, and then I can hit continue, confirm, enter your name. Everything will be all in, and this feeds back into another platform we built called Vanto. So Vanto is a all-round company, business, developer, and handler. So if I go into Vanto now and I go over to New Aesthetics, I can go over to bookings down here, wait for it to load up, and it will show you your jobs that you have, bookings that you have, and you can just open Booking Brilliant dashboard straight directly from there, and then you can log in with your login, and then you can actually just manage your bookings all very easily. So back to Vanto. Vanto is, as I said, a business builder and advancer and maintainer. So you can rank higher on Google, you can make ads, you can write blog posts, you can set up backlinks, make social media posts, and find new leads. These are just some of the features involved. We have been using it. I mean, one of the coolest features that we've just added recently is a flyer builder. So you can click AI build, you can say what you want it to be, and then AI will go ahead and create you a flyer for your business. So you can save it, print it, or you can directly ship it to people to use. So Royal Mail, Find Distributors. I have updated this further. Updates haven't pushed yet. So there is a lot more options. Oh, there we go. There's a lot more options available now. So you've got Royal Mail, you've got door to door, leaflet drop. And if you need inspiration for a flyer, you can go over to Canva, Freepik, Dribble, Pinterest, and get your inspiration. So as you can see, let's build another flyer just for Bants. Let's select a template. We'll go for actually, does anyone have a option I can pick? There's 20 different options. Does anyone want to recommend an option to pick?
Let's go for
Pick the Chevron Energy. That's
Which one's
bottom.
that? Oh,
That's
Chevron
the
Energy. Maybe. No. So that's Chevron Energy. If we hit AI build, why choose us?
Ooh.
Got some sort of thing. Obviously, QR code is a bit placed off put at the moment, but that's just the latest feature we've added.
But you can
But
edit that, right? On the
yeah,
flyer.
you can edit that. Yeah, you can edit that.
It builds the
So
template.
yeah, it builds a template for you. You've got email builder as well. This is a new feature we've added. So people struggle to make emails. You can just build out a whole interactive email. But those are just the two latest features we've added. The main part about this whole thing is content and SEO. So I can scan a live URL such as greathousemove.co.uk. It will run through all SEO options, and for this instance, it is fully optimized: GA4, tag manager, metapixel, concept banner, and HTTPS. It shows you traffic, visitors, bounce rate, and how people interact with your website. You can optimize it, and you can make content and ads. So the best part of this whole thing is probably the studio. So if I head over to studio, here you can see you can create an add visual, you can rate an ad, you can create blog posts, social media posts, backlink plans, improve copyrights of your text, and add alt text to all images on your website. So let's just go over to, I don't have any Hicksfield credit, so I can't create an ad visual anymore, but I can definitely create a blog. So if I go over to blog, and I click and I wait for this to fill, it just offers me some suggestions. I don't have to do anything here. It does it all for me. So it just thinks of ideas for your business. So let's go to furnishing your Airbnb delivery and setup tips. I'll hit that. I'll click make. and it will progressively make it for us. It will take maybe a few seconds. For the text, we're using Claude Sonnet, and for the development of the actual leaflet, I think we are using Opus 4.8. So it's drafted now, saved as draft. I scroll down to blogs and posts. I can see here, target Airbnb hosts in Durham, Sunderland, all across. If I click approve, and then I click publish the site, and then I head over to blog.greathousemeet.co.uk. Date, June, refresh that. Here we go. We will see that we have target Airbnb's host in Durham, Sunderland, and across the northeast. It also generated us an image, which is pretty cool, without having any credit. So it must have made that with Nano Banana, not Nano Banana Pro. If you don't know what Nano Banana is, it's a creation from Gemini. The creators of Gemini, I believe, Google. So that's their creation here. One of the best options that is available. We create that for us. Yeah. And I will show you back another website. So I was originally on this website. So as you can see, you have some slider images, more text, you have questions as you can add, and then you have where you're located, and you can click on. Those are the things I've been working on so far. I would also like to possibly show. How can I show this? Here, we'll go on Discord on my other computer. So I would like to show my bot I haven't showed for a while, and it's more relatable to the Discord. A trading bot that we have made here in Mycelink together. So I will just quickly load up Discord on my other computer, just so I can screen share and show you. Give me a sec.
Those sites are class, by the way, Mateus. Well done, man. Sick work.
Riser, are you still there? Can you share? Can you tap my screen again, please? Sec. So this is a trading signal dashboard made here in Mycelink officially using an individual called Cashout as our source of trade. So what I've built here is essentially a paper risk engine with different configs, and it works with virtual money only. However, this is fully operational, and these results that we see here are the results you would get in real life. So I'm just going to refresh this whole system and then go back to paper race to show you. This is just the home screen where it shows you total scalps, open trades, win rates, drawdowns, liquidation rates, that good stuff. So that will load in, these figures will load in eventually. Just give it a sec. There we go. So as you can see, we have 984 in the trades. Ideally, we want to reach, 1,000 before we can consider anything. So I will go back to pay tab. And I also have one last thing to show you after this, which is super cool, which anyone can benefit from. So let's just load up paper race. Just loading. Let me refresh the page. Super slow. Like this dashboard is super intensive. Like it has a lot of stuff, and I haven't optimized it for speed. because I don't use it for that. I just use it to look at stuff. So I do apologize, but that is a tweak I do have to make to the dashboard. I'm hoping that it loads up now. If it doesn't, then I'll just take a screenshot of when it does. Okay, it doesn't load up. I'll take a screenshot when it does, and then I'll show you. But this is something that's way more exclusive. So this is the entry analysis tab. And what this does, it live captures every features to real outcomes with a walk forward overfit check, and it's analysis only. So what this does is it analyzes all entries that are put through the system, and then will tell you which indicators have actually been used to achieve these results. So at the moment, we have 686 entries captured. We have 235 resolved and decided, and our baseline win rate is around 60.9%. So what this means is if this was an automated system, it means it would have a success rate of 60.9%. So that's without anyone giving signals, that's without anyone maintaining it, that's simply just turning it on, connecting it to MetaTrader and letting it run. Now, our walk forward says insufficient at the moment. It says not enough of sample matches yet to judge. It says keep accumulating. So ideally, it said 100 first. So I'm guessing this probably wants around 500 trades, which is what I normally ask for as well. But as we can see, we have some indicators on the left. Now, I'm not sure what H8 is, but it might be something to do with Heikin-Nashi. We have VWAP, we have RSI, we have Hashi, we have MACD, Stochastic, CVDs, which I think is audibles. We have time frame, which is 15-minute, and we have RSI. But we can see the most influential factor in win rate of them all is HA, which I believe is Heikin-Nashi, an edge of 14.9 pp. So if anyone is using Heikin-Nashi out there, you are going in the right direction. If anyone's using PSAR, which I'm not too sure what that is, and if anyone's using VWAP, which I do use myself, anchored VWAP, you are leading in the right directions for good results. So that's about it for what I have to show. I'm super bummed out that this is not loading. I'm going to try it one more time just to see if it does load up. So it might actually load up now because it's taken longer than it usually does. It did load. What I'll do is I'll take a screenshot and I'll put it in Mateus' channel so you can actually see these results. But long story short, if I do go into Discord, I have already posted a result of it back at the start of the month. So as you can see here, with a leverage of 10x fixed and with a starting capital of $750, it was able to do 2.3% return. That was in a very short space of time. That was in about 2 weeks. So I left it running, and after a month, it actually became 5%. So to make it clearer, our aggressive 10x 100k is at 105k right now. So it does around 5% a month. Yearly, that's around 60%. Now, we've only got 1 month of data so far during a very poor market. So the market conditions are not very favorable, yet we've still been able to print 5%. Now, for some people, it may be like, wow, 60% a year, that's beating our savings and our stock market returns. But some people, especially in the perp and perpetuals and future space, they may see that as a poor return, as they can achieve that maybe in one trade. But the difference between that and this is that this is guaranteed, like this is all programmed in. This is guaranteed to perform as it does. The results aren't the best, but it's something we've been able to make, and nonetheless, it still operates in full functioning order. So that's something we can just put out there. If anyone did want to maybe test it out, just do get in touch through Mycelink, and then we can possibly onboard you and see how that goes. And that is about all from me today. I'll hand it over to Ninja, I believe.
Okay, guess it's my section. Let's go. All right, let me share my screen. Prizo, are you there to make sure my screen is showing? I don't need to go, Prizo. One sec. Just waiting for that stream to update. Come on, stream. Oh yeah, okay, we good. All right, sweet. So going off what Prizo was saying before. Yes, I do believe that we're gonna see at least some kind of relief rally. Let's have a look at this data set here, which is the United States Industrial Purchasing Managers Index. Remember, the US is the biggest importer in the world, and this metric here, when it crosses 55, and I've been saying this over and over again for the whole of the year, this is typically, or historically speaking, as of these past 4 times in 2000 and from the recovery of the COVID crash, 2017 bull market, 2013 bull market, and post 2008 financial crash recovery, we can see that this is absolutely set to get to 55, right? Now, despite a lot of the FUD in terms of, our interest rates going to rise, this is an extremely positive sign for risk on assets, specifically crypto. Like, we're literally just off the cusp of hitting 55 over here. And also, if you look at the Russell 2000, which is 2,000 smallest stocks in the US. So S&P 500 is top 500, right? S&P 500 is the top 500 stocks in America, but the Russell 2000 is the bottom 2000. So it's kind of like the meme stocks or the stonks. Now, the thing is with price is, first of all, let's observe previous price action, pre-COVID, COVID dip, 2021 bull market, right? This has been consolidating or spent below this high for 5 years. At the same time, the S&P 500 in this time, oh, sorry, my bad. Go back to Russell 2000. Back to the S&P 500. Where the S&P 500 in that time, whilst the Russell 2000 went down and sideways, in that time, the S&P 500 has grown 58%. Okay, there's 58% growth in the S&P 500. This, in terms of real world money, that's about $30 trillion, approximately. In that time, whilst the entire money supply of the world has increased by 40 to 50%, the S&P 500 has gone up by 50%, the Nasdaq's gone up by probably 60, 70%. The Russell 2000 has remained sideways and has just broke out. Now, we are going to see, right? We are going to see times like 2021 again, I'm sure. I don't know if it's going to be this year or next year, but we could see a bull market season even more crazy than the 2021 era, because there is simply more money, and there is signs right now that yes, the liquidity is in the stock market, things are pumping, but I like to look at things from a bird's eye view, right? So let's, for example, take Micron, the memory chips. Like, look at this, guys. No, I didn't catch this, but when things run like this is literally in 1 quarter, right? That's a 3.7x, and then SanDisk, I think SanDisk has done like a 50x or something in the past year. Like who would have known? Who would have known, right? SanDisk in a year has done 60x, which is insane, right? So there's definitely liquidity in the market. Global stock market right now is sitting on $154 trillion. We peaked at $160 trillion 2nd of June, which is the all-time high. I do expect this to correct back down to at least 147. That would be a healthy correction. We can see here that we failed to break this high. And I do think that we'll do maybe a relief rally and another leg down. With regards to the global stock market and the S&P 500, but we can live in a world where the S&P 500 goes down and a lot of stocks go up, especially ones that are micro stocks, right? In the Russell 2000, there are new paradigms in the market that are being created, which are a constant challenge for even somebody like myself who's been in the markets for a decade, fund managers all over the world, but we have to learn to grow and adapt. There is a lot of money in the market. There's always money in the market, even when the market's crashing. What I really like about Annie, aka Cash Out Futures, is that he's now not only putting percentage gains, he's also showing you fiat gains as well. Of course, you got to be a beast to trade like this guy. I don't trade like this guy. They don't like scalping or using cross margin, but there's forever money to be made in the market, and there's always an opportunity to rotate, buy, hold, sell, short or long, right? So I am very positive in terms of crypto. I do think that there is a possibility that we go down in terms of Bitcoin to as low as 49,101 based on this wick. However, I am open to the idea that this could be the actual bottom. Just like in 2022, I remember when Bitcoin, everybody was saying, so many people were saying Bitcoin's going to go down all the way. So many people had this level, 12K. I remember this era very, very clearly. Bitcoin touched 16,000 or 15 point something, and that was it. That was the bottom. And then Bitcoin never, ever, ever got this low ever again. Is there a possibility that 58.2 is the lowest Bitcoin will ever go in human history? Yes. However, I'm still of the opinion, like Chryso, that the likelihood is we're going to go lower. Maybe the Bitcoin generational low could be there. As in generation, when I mean generation, I mean that's it. It hits that price and it never hits it ever again. Right? Let's not just 15.3. Let's take this price here, 25,000. Right? Bitcoin pulled back from 31K to 25,000, and it never ever went to 25,000 ever again in the human history of ever. Do you guys understand? Even here, upon this recovery, right? Even if you top blasted Bitcoin here at 35K, Bitcoin never hit 35K ever again in human history. It ran up to 49K in January 2024, pulled back in mid-January 2024 to 39K, and that was the last price ever in human history. You never got the opportunity ever again. So is this the exact bottom? I don't know. Do I think it's going to go down lower? Yes. But if you're considering adding to your Bitcoin bag, like right now is the time you should basically pull the trigger. I don't think you should long Bitcoin now, but if you want to accumulate Bitcoin, I don't think you should wait and try to wait for this price that may never arrive. I literally don't know if we're going to get to this price. I'm not sure. And that's the truth. I can see the DXY, the strength of the dollar, which has an inverse relationship to risk on assets, typically speaking, is rising. However, because of new market paradigms, I'm not too scared. Even if this rises all the way to 108, we can live in a world where the dollar increases by strength by 7.8% and Bitcoin ripped anyway. So I am no longer too. I used to live by these kind of fundamental relationships where when DXY goes up, Bitcoin goes down, and when the even the relationship between the S&P 500 and Bitcoin is extremely decoupled, right? Been in crypto for a decade, and I really thought, I will admit to you guys when I'm wrong, because this game is not about being consistently right. This game is about having a thesis, right? And understanding the invalidations to the thesis. So I had every right to be bullish on Bitcoin for Q2. Why? Because we had the most generational Q2 open, okay? Q2 open in the S&P 500, I believe, ever. We had one of the bullish days in NASDAQ ever, all the way till mid-May. Everything is bullish about Bitcoin and its recovery, right? Now, the invalidation was this lower high. This is when I exited publicly a $5,000 Pengu long, where I was up loads. I was floating like 4K, and I had to accept a few $100 loss because of this lower high. And then if we go to Pengu, you can see here, yeah, basically it was on this day, on Friday the 22nd or Saturday the 23rd, had to accept the loss of my Pengu long, but that's fine. Yeah, so the S&P 500 is, I do believe we're gonna pull back, right? Because it's forming a bearish pattern, and of course, after such a run up, you would expect some kind of pullback. What's interesting about Bitcoin, and I had a look at this with one of my clients, Microsoft, which is the 4th biggest stock in the world. Let me just show you guys a website called stockcharts.com. No, sorry, it's not this one. It's not this one. It's like stock market cap or something. Just want to show you guys. Here we are. Companiesmarketcap.com. So like coinmarketcap.com, but for stocks. Microsoft is the fourth biggest stock in the world, right? Just below Google, Apple, and Nvidia. Right, so that's around $3 trillion. Now, what's interesting is first of all, let me show you the S&P 500. So S&P 500 continues to rip, and then Nvidia, from this very, very important wick here. I mean, this very important wick candle, whatever you can call it here, which was Q1 close all the way until 11th of May. Okay, it ran up with the S&P 500, but then it pulled back. Google did an insane run, like, guys, that's 45-50% on spot from the start of April to like the end of May. Okay, and then Nvidia also did the run with the S&P 500. So that's the 3 biggest stocks in the world. But stock number 4 looks like Bitcoin. Look, it basically peaks around the same time as BTC. Boom. And then here, boom, right? And then we bottom out right here. It's very eerie how Bitcoin and Microsoft almost moving identical. Now, what does it show? It shows that these tech stocks and crypto are still in the same basket of risk. However, because the powers that be and the matrix or whatever don't want to get too much into conspiracy, understand that retail is getting smarter and smarter. We also need to get smarter, right? That's why I like to look at macro, because the institutions, the whales, the higher ups, they capitulate retail through 2 methods, and that's time and price. Okay, and price. I've learned that in this market, things can go higher and lower for longer than expected, which is why we're really going to be careful not to over allocate, and always have cash reserves, and always have a plan that we can stick with. Okay, so Yeah, S&P 500, Nasdaq, global stock market. I do expect a pullback. However, it's very interesting that the Russell 2000 and the US 30. This is why, of course, it makes sense that the dollar is getting stronger. This index, I forget how the Dow Jones is actually formed, but it's something along the lines of 30 American staple stocks or something along those lines, right?
30 industrial stocks.
30 industrial stocks, that's it. So industrial is still very bullish with the Russell 2000. And I think that, to be fair, I'm going to call it now. I think now's the time to long Microsoft. There's actually two stocks that you can buy on spot right now. In my opinion, they're great prices right now. I always want to try to give you guys setups for the future and setups for the present. Bitcoin, Microsoft, and Coin. Yes, Coin. I love where Coin is. In fact, I'm gonna get 3 charts up right now. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So I love these assets right now at today's price. Let's take Coin, right? What I think is amazing about Coin right now is look at this support, right? That's 3x from the high. How many times have we bounced from this price? You cannot always wait for the exact timing. You want to have an approximate timing. I don't think that it can go this low. I do not think it's going to go this low. If it does, then hey ho. But we've literally reset back to the price in February 2024. Come on, guys. February 2024, and it remained below this price between May 22 and May 24. So yeah, I love where Coinbase is. I love where Bitcoin is. Look how eerie all these things just like line up. David. Yeah. No indicators, just pure charts. If I put my indicators on, I'm sure the RSI. Like, look at Bitcoin and Microsoft. Look how similar they are. These are like cousins in terms of charts and also the industries they're in. So yeah, I think they're 3 really good positions right now. Is it time to long gold? I don't know. I just like to have a look. I'm not sure. Could be, but I'm not sure. Oil is obviously tanking. This is good. This is good for crypto. Hopefully, Strait of Hormuz is now open and ready for business, and the US and Iran can at least sign some kind of peace treaty. I really don't know exactly what's going on in politics, but I do know that these are 3 lower highs. That's what I know. And I know that money coming out of oil is good overall for the rest of the risk on asset market. To constantly remind you guys, crypto is down over 50% since the highs of 16th of October. What is the lowest that I think that we can go in terms of crypto market cap? Absolute lowest is 1.68 trillion, though I don't think we're actually going to get there. I actually think we're going to touch 1.9, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is the actual bottom. Yes, we have a bearish formation here because we can see that we broke the low of February 26th. However, what's in terms of crypto total market cap, however, what is very interesting indeed is that crypto total market cap, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, has not broken the low. It's touched the low. And then if you go to things like Pengu, look, Pengu is more bullish than Bitcoin in terms of technical analysis alone. I'm not saying Pengu is more bullish than Bitcoin in terms of fundamentals, right? But the difference between Pengu and other meme coins, I've noticed this. This is like the breadcrumbs of the market, and this is why I do believe there's going to be an altcoin season. Look, Bitcoin broke the low of the early February sweep. Pengu has not broken the low, and then this is also true in other coins as well. Let me just try to find another example. Solana has broke the low. Aero, right? Look at Aero. Aerodrome Finance, the biggest liquidity provider on Base. They're also I think merging with Velodrome. So yeah, guys, you can't deny this. Look at the sweep. It's breaking through the sweep. I don't even know how this is possible whilst the market's falling. But you know, we live in a world now where for the first time ever in crypto history, whilst the entire market was falling, hype continued to rise. And now I believe we're in price discovery because we finally broke this price here of September 25. It took from September 25 to May 26 to finally break to this price. Understand that the longer something takes to break out of a certain high, right, with the fundamentals increasing. Remember, guys, Hyperliquid, I forget the actual stat, but they make millions in revenue. And they're the biggest decentralized perp dex in the world. I was not bullish enough on them, yeah, I don't actually have an entry either. But I would definitely look to accumulate Hyperliquid. Obviously, you can't be in everything, and you got to have your convictions. I've got most of my conviction in Pengu because I like the positioning it's in, and I understand that these exponential heights over here in Pengu are absolutely reachable. Okay, so yeah, Dogecoin. I've capitulated on Dogecoin. I don't know where this is going. This is showing no signs of strength. I don't want to be a Dogecoin hater or a Pepe hater, but I do believe like this is absolutely terrible. You need to understand when to cut your losses. Okay. Let me show you guys a Solana ETH ratio. No, not this one. One sec. Need the Sol ETH chart. Sol ETH, Sol ETH, Sol ETH, Sol ETH. Give me that fucking chart. Yes, right. I have been a long-term ETH holder. And I have ETH in my war chest, but yesterday I literally swapped. I own no Ethereum except maybe like 0.01 for just fees. In case I need them in the future. This is the Sol ETH ratio. The last time Solana broke out and started outperforming ETH was in 2023. That was the last time. If you, this is an extreme example, in October 2023, let's say you had 2 Ethereum, okay, in like your war chest, you know, people stack ETH, and then you swapped into Solana. Obviously, it's hard to time the top or whatever, and then you just held that for literally 5 months. You could flip your 2 ETH into nearly 10 Ethereum in this time. If you think in those kind of terms, but yeah, anyone who's thinking about buying ETH, I think you shouldn't buy ETH. I think you should buy Solana. Everything in the technicals tell me that Solana is gonna way outperform Ethereum. Swinging back to all-time highs, nearly 100%. So yeah, I have no Ethereum, so I'll share that with you guys. Okay, before I go into meme coins, does anybody have any question with regards to like macro or anything you want me to chart out? Because I'm about to talk about meme coins. No, okay. Also, SpaceX IPO. I'll be honest, I was feeling FOMO on this rise, but it's important. You know what makes a really good investor and trader is when you recognize how you feel. I recognize that I felt FOMO here, and I didn't let my emotions get the better of me. I tried to long SpaceX, I didn't buy SpaceX. I let it do its thing, and look, exactly how I predicted. It is broke below the opening price. So, would I buy SpaceX? Would I trade it in the future? Yes, but not for many months. Okay, let's go into meme coins. Right, what's Ninja got on his Solana meme coin watch list? Okay, so don't want to talk about Pengu again because I always talk about Pengu forever. It is where I have my biggest holding. Yes, the chart looks like absolute dog shit. However, I follow the fundamentals of the company. I do believe this is going to turn around. I don't know when. Really don't know when, but if you don't own any Pengu, now is the time. I wouldn't long Pengu from today's price. I do actually use some Pengu as trench liquidity, so I try to flip some Pengu into more Pengu. It works out sometimes it doesn't, but that's the risk that I take. Yeah, so NEAT is getting to some really good levels, not in education, employment, or training. If you don't have a position in this, I think now is a good DCA time. I think this could be a multi-$100 million runner because it encaptures the whole, how would I explain this, kind of like culture of meme coin trading and just being a general unemployed NEAT. This coin is also kind of co-signed by Solana founders such as Toli and Raj. They like to tweet it, and then you'll see that if Solana meme coins is a world that you pay attention to, you'll see that these guys are just really embedded in the culture of the trenches. I don't think they're going to go anywhere. Yeah, give them a follow and do your own research, and then take a bid at a price or prices that you feel appropriate. Understand that the only way you are going to be successful in meme coins is if you have some kind of diversification and accepts losses when it's time to accept them. For example, World Cup coin, right? I thought this would do really well. 3.73 is my entry. I probably DCA'd, I think, 2 more times, and that's it. I think the money's gone now. I think that's gone to zero. I don't think it's going to recover. And that's it, right? I was wrong with World Cup coin. I was also wrong with USBC. I'm not going to bid on this reversal here. This is like a it stands for United States Black Whale, and when there was the white whale meta, this was kind of the beta for it, and then the dev re-released on USDC. But then, look, this is when you got to know, right? You got to know when to cut it. The only reason why this is pumping is because the Ansem meme coin is the Ansem Black Bull meme coin is sending to hundreds of millions right now, and I think this is just picking up a bid. But if you just look at the dev, he's not tweeted since the 25th of June, and the last tweet was shilling another meme coin. So that's when you're gonna know things are dead, right? I'm still watching it though because I'm kind of interested. Farm, this is a real shame that this one is also not a good bet. Well, it could actually be the bet of the lifetime right now. Basically, there was 2 games that was really circulating the Solana eco gaming system. One of them is Kintara, which I think is still doing really well in terms of a chart. Let's just have a look at that. Kins, yeah. So I see some kind of resurgence in I guess you could say like Solana gaming, and Kins. This was by far the market leader, but Farm was not a beta to Kins, but just another gaming token. I'm not too sure why it dumped so hard. This is why you gotta look into it. Sometimes there is no fundamental reason why something dumps so hard. It's actually good when things dump really hard, and there's no reason why, because that's just early people taking profit, right? And I'm not too tapped in what's going on Farm Town right now, but have a look into it, and if it makes sense to you, then this could be the generational entry of a lifetime. 19x from all-time high. You got to be really careful with Solana memes, and to be honest, the biggest problem that I have and other people is just oversizing, right? Like, it's okay to put 0.5% of the portfolio and DCA 1 position into a Solana meme coin. GTA 5, I try to front run the narrative of the game coming out. I don't know if it's going to recover or not. I just want to be honest with you guys. Now, what am I extremely bullish on still in the Solana meme coin trenches? So NEAT, like I said, still extremely bullish. Could go down to 30 million. So I'm not saying buy now, but I think today would be a good position to DCA. Troll chart is bleeding, but you cannot ignore price action like this. They have acquired the intellectual property rights to the Troll IP. Last time I checked, let's just have a quick look. I'm gonna have a quick gander at these meme coins. Then I'll give it over to Halima with the health and wealth meditation. Like you really gotta read the chart and check in with the community every day, and that's how you kind of dollar cost average in your convictions, or dollar cost average out, right? Like or just literally get out the coin if there is a sign that this is not good. Yeah, I don't think anything's wrong with Troll right now. So yeah, bullish on super bullish on Pengu as always. Still bullish on Neat, bullish on Troll. I think 6-7 will make a resurgence. It's just that the thing is with meme coins is attention economy, right? So the reason why I still watch 6-7 is because the meme in the real world penetration in this meme is still very, very much existence. I pay attention to culture. I read stats. I see the White House shilling 6-7. I see Grok shilling 6-7. Just things being 67 this and 67 that. I see people influencers around the world still doing the 6-7, but of course it takes a while for the trenches to reignite. I don't know if this will ever resurge. I have an average entry at 284, so like I'm down, you know what I mean? I'm not afraid to admit it. We can go down even further. I wish I bid it at these levels here, because that's a nice 4x from the bottom, and I could have clipped out my money and then bought more in. But yeah, I do believe in 6-7. I do believe it's going to resurge, but it's going to take a while because it's not the hot narrative right now. I love where Wizards are. Smoking Wizard. I love Mimo. I love his music. I love that this community is just always doing their thing. I think this could be a multi-million runner, but it takes a while for the trenches to catch up, right? Multi-million runner could be in a few months, but I think right now is a good time. Maxin, I still like Maxin. I have researched Google Trends. Still paying attention to culture, and I still believe that this incorporates that. Again, like with 6-7, obviously it goes on its exponential runs and then dumps, and we don't know how long. Like it can go here, but it could take 6 months, right? It could be something like this. So I don't know. I'm just paying attention. You will make the most money in meme coins by just paying attention. It's not about buying and selling all the time. In fact, it's more so just being aware of what's going on. Joshua, now this, I'm so glad that I have a sizable position in this. I'm just riding it. I don't know where it could go. It could be a whiff type play. It could go to 100 mil. It's currently the biggest dog coin right now in terms of the trenches, and I see that it's just being constantly adapted in Solana in the Solana meme culture. So I really like where Joshua's at. I like the drooling cat, right? And I'll tell you why. So before I talk about why I like the drooling cat, I had some data. I had a conversation about where is it? I think I've lost it, but I was basically asking an AI, it might have been Gemini, I might have closed the tab, and with regards to the meta of global search terms of cats versus dogs, and the TLDR is that for the first time in a very long time in human history, the global searches of cats, cute cats, and the cat meta is outperforming dogs. And I know this is a crazy bet, but I just think that this imagery has some kind of viral potential. I don't know what's happened to the X. The TikTok's on a couple thousand views. 23,000 followers with millions of views on some videos. Of course, I'm just betting on internet culture, and this can go to absolute shit. Look, even drooling cat are shilling Neat, right? You just see this whole like Neat thing in other meme coins, and we live in an attention economy in meme coins, right? So yeah, I have my entry on drooling cat here at 273, so I'm super happy that I've just held on. No, I didn't really trade this. I did accumulate again here, but again, I'm just putting my bets on with regards to this. What else? Okay, so my favorite meme coin right now out of all of them all of them is Solangelis. So think of a Family Guy-esque cartoon series that just incorporates the trenches. It uses all the intellectual property of all the relevant Solana meme coins, and even prominent faces such as CZ from Binance and Vitalik Buterin, all in a very easily normie-friendly, digestible look. If you guys don't know about crypto Twitter, it's like a little bit racist. That's just the way it is, and I don't say I agree with it, but like that's why there's Black Elon here, and of course you have some Black Jewish guy as well. I'm not saying it's politically correct. I'm just saying this is the way crypto is, and I'm just here to make money, right? Now let's talk about my political beliefs. But yeah, check out the cartoon for yourself. See if you find it funny. There's 4 full episodes now on YouTube. I think like 90 minutes of content. I think these guys are doing amazing. I was really scared, not scared, but I was skeptical whether this would actually be a successful project. And I was thinking like other people would create cartoons, but in a month, and I don't see anyone creating any cartoons. Furthermore, these guys have done some really cool marketing. Like they paid for a billboard in LA. Solangelis LA, obviously. Toli, one of the co-founders of Solana, has retweeted it, and the main character in the series is crypto's biggest KOL at the moment, Ansem. He's like single-handedly running the trenches right now with 1 million followers. The Sol ETH ratio, Sol looking like it's gonna burst right now. All the developments of Sol. I honestly think that it's going to be a crazy meme coin season. I do think Solangelis could be one of those 100 million runners, just because it goes to and bear in mind, right? Just because I say it could go to 100 mil, it could go to 100 mil in the future, but in between now and then, go down to 1.2 million again and revisit the price where it was 8 days ago. Like you really have to squeeze these charts like this, right? The journey of there's going to be a lot of drawdown. I'm not saying don't take profit. So just because I said it can do 10, 20x, it can also something can do 20x, but in between from entry price go down by 90%. That's why you have to accept these Solana meme coins, and they're really not buy and hold. I buy and trade even things I have conviction in, and try to withdraw my original liquidity so I can go with something else. So yeah, I love Solangelis. That's my favorite narrative at the moment. In terms of fundamentals, I think that cards, right? I've been waiting for an entry on cards for the longest of time. I'm super glad because this chart was just going up forever and I just didn't know when to get in. Cards is basically a real world application, tokenized card assets sold on the blockchain. So you can literally, think like an OpenSea, but with Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon cards. All these cards here, they have in stock because let's say you owned like a rare Pikachu, you can actually send it into the collector crypt a physical address. They will seal it and then they will create this on-chain asset. Like lowest to highest, I haven't bought any yet. I'm looking to spend a couple $100. I just need to understand this kind of like new wave of Pokemon. Like I used to like Pokemon when I was a kid. Right? 1 second. I actually tweeted about this. I tweeted this tweet. If you guys want to read the Pokemon research. Researching the current state of Pokemon. Here's the Claude link. Looking to bet on cards, which is the Pokemon marketplace. Right? Look at this. So I said to Claude, GM Claude, I'm an experienced on-chain trader, been in Bitcoin since 2015. Blah, blah, blah. I'm looking into cards and the Pokemon card exploding eco. I'm pretty tapped out of the current state of Pokemon. Any new episodes? What under 16s of today think of Pokemon? Because I played the Game Boy games. Break it down to me in terms of the card game, value, reseller market. Now, what's interesting is, look, the Pokemon franchise is bigger than it's ever been. It's not nostalgia revival. It's at an all-time peak. Pokemon is the highest grossing media franchise in history. Roughly 113 billion revenue in lifetime. The Pokemon company did about 2.9 billion revenue between 2024 to 2025, up 38% in a single year. New episodes, Ash is gone. If your mental model is Ash and Pikachu, that era formally ended in 2023. The new Pokemon leads are Liko and Roy. Like, the world has changed, and if you want to make money in meme coins, specifically meme coins, you need to understand attention economy. I do not know who the hell these people are, but this is what the kids are watching now. They're watching Liko and Roy. So I'm still learning about all of this, but this is all you really need to know, right? All you really need to know is that the franchise is bigger than ever. Okay, and you can buy digitalized Pokemon cards on Collector, in which you can actually claim the real card. You just have to pay shipping fees and then sacrifice the digital asset, of course, so it's not resold on chain. So yeah, fundamentally, I'm super bullish on cards. I think out of everything I'm looking at outside of Pengu, this is the best business model, and Solangelis is my favorite project. What else? I'm also looking at a meme coin called Apu. So Apu is kind of like a spin-off meme of Pepe, the original frog. There was an Apu released on Ethereum, but not the original Apu creators, but you know, there is an Apu narrative on Solana, and you know, it's one of those look neat. Like everywhere you look, in every Solana meme coin trench, neat is being shilled, and it's just more eyes on the idea. I'm not super bullish on Apu, just kind of watching it, but you never know what can pop up, right? Which is why I encourage you guys to just have your watch list. Your watch list is everything. The better your watch list, the better your real life money list is going to be in the future, as long as you keep paying attention. And the key is paying with attention, not necessarily paying with your money. You can make a killing by spending no money on us, or doing no buys or no sells in the market, except when there's an A1 setup and you have A1 conviction. And yeah, I know some people like to trade more frequently. I'd say I'm very conservative with when I actually buy and sell. I also like the cat with hat narrative. I like the base that is forming here. I like the fact that the cat meta is rising outside of crypto, just in terms of global search terms. That's just backdated by Gemini. I wish I had the data with me right now. Oh, one more meme coin. I know I'm talking about 15, 20 different meme coins here, and I'm not telling you to buy them all, but like, in order for me to tell you guys these 12 to 15 meme coins, believe me, I looked at hundreds of meme coins. That's where I spend my time in the trenches. So I'm filtering out potential. So why do I like Billboard? Besides the fact that it's like a 49k absolute shitter in terms of market cap, I like it because they have an amazing, easy to understand real world application. The easy to understand real world application is that Billboard is a real company which specializes in the IRL proliferation advertisement. All right, my computer's freezing right now, but yeah, they've basically done real world billboards around the world, including for Solangelis. Yeah. Yeah. How long was I stopped sharing for? Okay, so yeah, final meme coin I really like is Billboard, because these guys literally specialize in the placement of billboards for Solana projects. It's really easy to understand. They just do billboards for Solana projects, and they've done 89 billboards so far. They did the LA billboard for the Solange series, and it's 49K. Now, just because 49K doesn't mean it can't dump to 3K, right? Like it can. It spent so long in this consolidation. It spent 6 months in this consolidation. So you should literally only put on a coin like this something like 0.5% of your whole portfolio DCA'd in clips of 0.1%. I know it sounds really boring, but if you repeat this process enough times with discipline, right? Take profit disciplines, not over allocating disciplines. Keep the discipline to keep up to date with the narratives and understanding when it's time to really load in, like when there's bullish narratives. Like you really want to clip in when the chart and the technical gives you the entry plus narrative, but there has to be a narrative as well attached to it, right? It can't just be technicals on meme coins. But yeah, that is a lot of meme coins to talk about. Hope you guys enjoyed my section. Any questions before we get into Halima's meditation? To wrap up. All right, babe, I think it's time for Halima's meditation.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, let's begin. Welcome. Right now, wherever you are, whatever this day has held, you're stepping out of it. This is a health and wealth meditation. 8 minutes, that is all I ask. Now settle in. Let the chair beneath you take your full weight. Let your shoulders fall away from your ears. Let your jaw loosen. Let your hands rest open or simply still. You are exactly where you need to be. Here is something worth knowing before we begin. Wealth is not something that you chase. It is not something that you earn through exhaustion or prove through struggle. Wealth is a frequency, and your only work right now is to tune into it. Not to solve the how, not to map the when, only to remember what it feels like to already be there. That feeling is the doorway. Let us walk through it. Close your eyes. Let your breath find its own rhythm first. Then when you're ready, follow me. We make the exhale longer than the inhale. It is the oldest signal your body knows. Quiet proof that you are safe. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. And exhale for 6. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. Exhale for 6. One more. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. And exhale for 6. Something has already shifted. Not because anything outside of you changed, because you chose to change your inner state. This is where every fortune begins. Picture yourself standing at the edge of an ancient forest at twilight. Above the canopy, the sky is layered in amber rose, deep indigo. The last light slips between the leaves in warm ribbons, and one of them finds your face like recognition. The air is thick with the scent of rain-soaked earth, rich, mineral, alive. You breathe it in and feel it fill you up with the smell of things growing, of life composting into new life. Under your bare feet, the ground is soft, damp moss, the faint give of old roots, and beneath that, a pulse, subtle, ancient, steady as a heartbeat. You are standing on the most sophisticated network in the living world, mycelium. Billions of invisible threads weaving every root, every organism into one breathing whole. And now it begins to glow. Gold, the warmth of legacy. Emerald, the pulse of growth. Sapphire, clarity and trust. Every color of wealth made visible beneath your feet. And then you understand this network is not only beneath you, it runs through you. Every cell in your body is a node in this infinite web of prosperity. It is a shared frequency. This is the Mycelink truth. We are not separate. We are one vast organism of collective abundance. Inhale for 5 seconds. Hold for 3 and exhale for 7. Now, your only task is to feel what prosperity actually feels like before a single condition outside of you has changed. Not to plan it, not to strategize it, only to find it in your body right now. So ask yourself quietly, what does it feel like to be truly prosperous? What does it feel like? It feels like ease. Say it to yourself softly, ease. Feel your shoulders agree. It feels like freedom. No weight on your chest. No scarcity gripping your breath. It feels like walking slowly, knowing everything is handled. It feels like sitting somewhere beautiful, smiling, not because you are surprised, but because some part of you always knew that this was coming. It feels like ease, freedom, and fullness. Nothing outside of you has to move for you to reach this. You found this frequency on your own, and that is one of the most powerful moves you'll ever make. Here in this open state, the right ideas arrive. Not from panic, not from FOMO, from clarity. The right thought at exactly the right time. Inhale for 5 seconds. Hold for 3 and exhale for 7. Now turn your awareness behind you. Your ancestors are gathering. Not 2 or 3 generations, go further, go back centuries. Let them assemble. See them in a row. See them as they were. Farmers whose hands knew the soil before sunrise. Traders who crossed borders with nothing but will and wit. Healers who carried remedies that kept families alive through winters with no name. Warriors who guarded what could not be replaced. Survivors, every one of them, who refused to be the last. They did not have the tools you have. No global markets. No digital assets. None of the instruments that you hold in your hands today. But they carried something forward that's through impossible odds, and that's a spark, a coded message written in their choices and their sacrifices, delivered across time directly into your DNA. Feel the warmth of their hands on your shoulders. They are not watching from a distance. They are working through you. Every smart move you make, they celebrate. Now shift forward. See your descendants, children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, faces you may never see, names you may never know. Living in homes that you secured, making choices not from survival, but from the freedom you built for them before they were born. Feel the weight of it and feel the beauty. You are the bridge, the link, the turning point. Guys, this is not pressure. This is called purpose. Repeat after me out loud or in your mind. I am the change I create. I move with wisdom. I build with purpose. I hold with conviction. The network flows through me. The legacy starts with me. I am ready. I am worthy. I am rich. I am wealthy. Money works for me. Money is coming to me like water. Money loves me and money is obsessed with me. Inhale for 5 seconds. Hold for 3 and exhale for 7. Inhale for 5 seconds. Hold for 3. Exhale for 7. And one last time. Inhale for 5 seconds. Hold for 3. Exhale for 7 seconds. Let it all out. and slowly begin to return. Notice the room, the temperature of the air on your skin, the sounds finding their way back to you. Wiggle your fingers, roll your shoulders back, press your feet into the floor, feel how solid it is beneath you. When you are ready, open your eyes, take a breath and notice what is here right now. A quietness behind your eyes, a sense of your own ground, a feeling not of having been motivated, but of having been reminded. This frequency is your new baseline. You do not have to chase it. You've already activated it and it lives within you. To reactivate it again, if it becomes dormant, just close your eyes and breathe. Feel your body, feel the temperature within yourself. Every time you return to this feeling, this ease, this freedom, this fullness, you make the most important investment of your life. Welcome back and welcome to Mycelink. Thank you.
Alrighty, guys, that was a good 2-hour session. Locked in, locked in. All right, guys, we'll catch you next week. Tell a friend, tell a friend. Thank you very much.